Hi everybody, it's Doreen and welcome back to day number 4 of my 5-day silhouette Christmas card series. So now today's card is a card where the file contains all the pieces that you'll need to put the card together, which pretty much all of the cards that I've been making for the series have been set up like that. So now I did have a little challenge with this card, and I ended up putting it together the way I wanted to put it together because I just couldn't figure out how to do this. So let me go ahead and show you what today's card looks like. So this is the card that we will be making. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so let's bring up the supplies so we can get started with day number 4 of the series. Now this one I struggled a little bit with putting together because I just could not figure out how to do this. So we'll first put our portion of the tree together, and I'm going to use probably our 2-way zig pen because we have these holes in here and we don't want to run it or run tape across it, and I still haven't gotten a refill for my little Xyron sticker maker machine, so we have to do it like so. And I'm just getting some glue all the way on the edges here and in between these spaces or these circles. And then I'm going to use my tweezers so I can get this on here. Oh, we better make sure we cover that back up. I can get this on here right. So I'm going to try to line this up and match it up as best I can. And we'll start here at the top and then just work our way down and get that on there. So now we've gotten that portion put on there. And then we have our little lady here. So now, when you're putting this card together, I started off with just putting my window in there and then trying to get my lady inside here so you can see her through the window pane, and then putting in my tree, which I guess it probably would end up looking sort of like this. But the problem that I found with this is, now where do I add my inside sentiment? If I want to put an inside sentiment in here, which I do, I guess I could put on the back, but I didn't want it on the back. So what I ended up doing was I cut out another piece of cardstock the same height, and I'm going to put that behind here. So I'm kind of going to glue my lady and the tree on this piece and then adhere that to the card, or this piece right here, this piece here to the inside, like so. So that's how I came up with it. I mean, that might not be the right way, but that's what's working for me. So you can do it however you want. And I did believe I put some markings on here so I would know exactly where this should go, but I actually put them on this part, which I should have put them on this piece. So we'll just go ahead and you get to see me design this one right now, because I was thinking that that should be about right there, and then we should have our lady sitting probably about right somewhere in here. And then we have our window pane that will sit on top. Now we do want her face to show, so I kind of want to bring her up a little bit. Or maybe we'll move her down here. Like I said, this one was a real difficult one to figure out. So just bear with me while I think about this. on how I'm going to do this. So we're going to have our tree about right there. We'll straighten it out a little bit. So I'm just going to mark this with a pencil so I know when I get ready to tape this that this is the tip of the tree. Like so. And we'll erase that. And then we'll close that out, and then we'll get our lady on here. But there is another piece that goes with this, and I'm going to get that because I was letting it dry. I want to show you what I did with that. Okay, so there is a second piece that looks like this, and what I decided to do was, you probably can't see it with the camera, but I'll bring it up. But I decided to take some gesso, which I have a big bottle of, and put that on the corners here, and then I sprinkled it, while it was still wet, I sprinkled it with glitter because I wanted to kind of make it look like snow. So I only put that in certain portions, and I believe I had it on top of here, and I just didn't like the way that looked, so I believe it's supposed to go this way. Like I said, there were no instructions on putting this together. So I'm going to kind of do it like this. You do it however you want to do it. And then that lays on top of here. So it looks like you're looking at her through the window. And I think the way I have it lined up right now is how I'm going to put it on that one piece there. So kind of got her kind of sitting crooked. But let's make sure, let's do that one more time and make sure it lines up, because I want them to be able to at least to see her face. We should bring this up here and then move it down. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I got a text message right in the middle of when I was talking. So it should lay like so. So I'm going to slide her up a little bit if I can. Just like that. And that's where we're going to put her, right there. So I'm going to take that up, and I'm just going to make a little mark here that her head should go right there. And then we'll just go ahead and start taping this down. So this one you'll have to kind of play with until you can get it the way you want it. I kind of messed around with this for quite a while, and then I decided, you know what? I'm just going to put this on here the way I want to put it on here. So I'm going to put that right in there, and then I'll erase that little marking that I made there. And then we'll add her, we'll line her up, and we'll use the Tombow again, Tombow here. Switch it up between Tombow and two-way adhesive, and I sometimes call one of them the wrong thing. And I probably could have gone ahead and used the two-way as well. But we're going to use this. So we're going to line her up where I've made those marks and just put it down. So there you have her. So she may look like she's a little crooked there, but once we get her inside here, and then we get our other layers on, it should work out just fine. And there we have it. Now the one thing I also need to do is go ahead and remove the little lines that I made for where I was going to line her up. So we'll get rid of those. And before we tape this to this portion, because as I said, I'm putting an inside sentiment in here. I'll get rid of that one too. I also wanted to add some vellum. And I wanted to kind of have the vellum sitting on top there so it looks like frosted glass. So we'll add our vellum, or we'll go ahead and add this, the vellum to this. And I'm just going to get it on the edge, tape on the edge here. And I'm going to just use the two-way for this, because it's actually not going to show because it's going to be in the inside. So I'm just going to get some tape all the way around on my edges here. And remember, you won't add any tape in the middle. You just need it on your edges because it's going to sit on top. Now all of these pieces do come with the card or with the file, so you don't have to worry about any measuring, except for if you're going to add the vellum, then and you want to add the piece for your inside sentiment, which is, my sentiment is right here. You just measure whatever size this is, and you can cut that with your paper trimmer. I, on the other hand, use a silhouette. I just took a duplicate of this, cut this with my knife tool in the silhouette software, and then measured everything out. But you don't have to do that. You can cut it with your paper trimmer. You just need to measure the size of your card. And I believe this card, let me measure it real quick. It says it's 9 inches by 6 1/4. So it actually measures 4 1/2 for your width and 6 1/4 for your height. So it's not a typical A2 size card, because an A2 size card does measure 4 1/2 by 5 1/2. So you'll have to do some little figuring there. You know, I don't like measuring, so I just kind of wing it. So now we have this. So what we'll do is we'll get tape, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the tape here. That way I know I won't be putting tape where I don't need tape. So I'm going to use the ATG gun for this. And I'm going to get along the edges here, all around the window, because we do want that to stick. And we'll get some along here. And then we'll get some at the top, and then we'll add our layer. Just make sure you don't tape your hand as well. Okay. So now what we can do is just lay this down and fold that over. And then that should stick. Now the one thing that I did want to do that I didn't do, so I'm probably not going to be able to get this up, is I did want to add some bling on here. So let's see if I can get part of this up. And naturally I did tear the card a little bit, but we can fix that. So don't do what I just did, which was put this down before I put my bling on. So I'm going to step off camera and take this off, get my bling on, and I'll come back and we'll continue making the card. Okay everybody, so I am back and I've got my bling on there, and there is one place down here, there's one circle that I didn't put any bling because you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. But as you can see, I have them all on there. And I just wanted to add just something. I have to add bling. So now we can go ahead, and I've got it back on here and everything. We can go ahead and start putting our stuff on for the top. So as we did before, this piece is going to go here, like so. So we'll just tape that down. So what I'm going to do first is put these two pieces together. Now there is another piece in here to cut out, or was a portion of it. And I can't remember if this was a part of the, it was a part of the card. So I think it goes on here. Let's see if that works. And then this sits on top. I believe that's how that works. And then you have another piece that is a little swirl that sits on top of that to kind of make it look 3D. And I may even, if I have something to do that with, I may pop that up just a little bit off of there. And then you also get a piece that is supposed to be, I guess, like the window seal. So once again, I went ahead and I took some of the gesso and dabbed that on with a paintbrush, and then I added some of the Stampin' Up! Dazzling Diamond glitter. So I had that sparkle. So we'll add that after we finish adding all the other pieces. So let's go ahead and get this piece on here. And I'm just wondering, should it go that way? And then on top. Probably needs to go this way. So we'll put it on that way. We'll just get some tape along the edge here, and then we'll just add this, like so. And then we can start layering by adding our next piece on top of that. And I think we then add this piece. And maybe this should have been higher up because it needs to fit within. Yeah, it should go like that, I believe. Tell you what, that's the way we're going to do it. Instead of me trying to line this up like so, I think I'm just going to come down a little bit and leave it like that. I am really struggling with this one, everybody, and I don't know why. Let's pull this up. Well, do it like that. I'm going to step off camera for a minute and see if I can figure this out, and I'll be back. Okay, everybody, so I'm back, and I've decided to go ahead and, actually I need to add some tape here. Okay, so I've added tape up here at the top and along here and down at the bottom and on this side, and I'm not going to put any tape in between the panes, and I'll show you why in a minute. So I also want to get, and I'm going to get a scrap sheet of paper up here so I can do this, but I want to get some glue along this swirl here. So that it does stick and stay down. And then we're going to add it to the other pane. And I'll explain why I'm not going to put any tape in between there. Because the way I'm going to line this up is, I'm going to line this up by the top. How it is on top up here. Like so. So now you see why I didn't want to put any tape in between the panes along there. So that's how I'm going to do it. Now if that's not right, I'm not going to worry about it, because when you're making cards sometimes you have to do what you want to do. Now we're going to add our swirl up here at the top, which is going to go there, like so. So let me see. So it'll be on there like that. And I'm not going to pop it up because I think I'm going to pop up the window frame itself. So let's go ahead. Well, maybe we will. You know how I like to do dimension, but we got to figure out how we're going to do this because this is so tiny. So we may have to just put one. I'm going to take one of these squares and cut it in half. And then I'm just going to put it right smack in the middle. Hopefully you won't see it on the other side. So let's get that down and see how that looks. And that's the way I like it. I don't know if you'll see it on the camera, but it's popping up. So it looks like it's popping up off the frame. So what I'm going to do is add just a few more of these. So just bear with me for a moment because I'm taking these pop dots, these little small tiny ones, and I'm cutting them in half so that I can get them on here and you won't be able to see them from the other side. And I think that'll be enough just to get it popped up off of the frame. So now let's take the tape backing off and we'll add this. But maybe before we do that, we should just go ahead. I guess it really doesn't matter. I was thinking I had to flip this over and put tape on there, and I do. So we probably want to do that first before we put that top piece on, because we've got to put tape on the back of here so we can add it to our card. So let's do that first. So I'm going to take the tombow again, go along the edges, and I'm going to get up here at the top and down here at the bottom, and then I'm going to go in between these portions and then across. I think I've got enough tape on there. What do you think? Okay, so now let's make sure we get this where, like I said, I want to see a little bit of her face, and I'm going to press it there. So there we have it. And there it is on our card. So now what I'm going to do is, so you don't need to sit here and watch me put the rest of my embellishments on. I'm going to put the embellishments on, and then I'm going to come back with the finished card and the envelope. And I have to say, this one was a little struggle for me, but I'm sure I'm going to like the way it turns out. Okay, everybody, so I am back with the finished card, and this is what it looks like. So I just went ahead and added a few little embellishments on the front of the card. I've added these little bells here, and then down here at the bottom I added a couple or 3 snowmen ornaments that I had. So that is the finished card, and I have to say this one was a challenge for me because I just did not know how I was going to put this one together, but I do like the way it turned out. And then for my envelope, I just used a pre-made, ready-made envelope, and I stamped out Happy Holidays with some snowflakes using my Stampin' Up! Whisper White ink. So that's it, everybody. This is day number 4 of my 5-day silhouette Christmas card series. So now when we come back, we'll be making the last card for the series, and then I'm going to be showing you some cards that I made that I'm not going to do a tutorial on. They're going to be more of a show and tell, and actually that's going to be in a separate video. So thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.